Hey guys, welcome back. It's Jack from CasinoIncomeAcademy.com. I was in the process. I promised one of our members a video, another demo video on something that we had shown weeks ago that other people are having great success with. And it is another craps strategy. You can play it on bubble craps or the traditional tables. It is not a 410 system. It's not one of the systems that are in the new course in the 410 project, but it can be used in the same way. You can certainly tweak it like many of the things that we do, but it was not created to be a 410 system. So he's going to be going on a trip, on a cruise, and he asked me to pick out something that to show him that we have shown maybe in the last couple of months. And this is something that that I actually created. And I don't say that all the time because a lot of the things that we show on this channel are hybrids and things that we have tested and seen from other places, and then tweak the money management or tweak something in the bet selection or something that came from somebody else's brain. This is not the channel, as you guys know, that, I don't claim to be the greatest craps player in the world and the greatest baccarat player in the world. I really could care less. All I care about is winning, making money consistently, and bringing the best of those concepts to you, whether they're from my brain, a student's brain, another YouTuber's brain, or whether it's something that we have seen and then twisted, tweaked, and tested into something new. Frankensteined it, basically. So, there's no ego here. You guys know that's not my deal. All right, so I'm going to show this. I think I've shown this twice. I don't know, maybe only once publicly. It's called the 510 bounce. And I love this strategy. You can tweak it to make it your own, and you can add other things to it. And there's two components in this. And it's very different because a lot of people that show lay strategies, they're very rigid strategies. Or they're strategies like we've shown where it's a hybrid, where you have light side bets and the lay bet is predominantly a hedge most of the time. Well, this is neither of those. This is not a rigid lay bet, and it takes advantage of math that nobody else seems to have jumped into yet, that I've been using for a while. And I'm sure there are people that are going to start thinking about this concept since I've been showing it on YouTube. It's funny because I've seen recently, and again, I'm not saying this in a mean way, so please do not go running around and tell anybody I said anything bad. One of the other greatest craps players that ever lived channels, that's always doing crazy, aggressive recovery, all of a sudden has their quote-unquote own money management. And guess what it is? It's basically our Faction 3 that I've been teaching for, 10 months now. But instead of calling it Faction 3, they call it something else. But, again, I'm not saying that in a mean way because I think we all learn from each other, and I certainly have taken some great concepts from other places. So if I've helped another channel or somebody to think about slowing their roll and slowing up their recovery, well, I'm happy about that. So remember, there's no stealing of ideas. I hate when people bring up these moronic things. These are all concepts. Nobody has a patent on an idea for a system. Nobody has a copyright on a concept or an idea. So when you hear these morons, especially the trolls, making these comments like, well, that was stolen from this or that, everything, there's no stealing anything. There's no copyright on a concept to play craps. There may be a book that's copyrighted, but even the book, it's the book itself that's copyrighted. Concepts are not copyrighted. These are not patented ideas. So anybody that likes to start trouble, you can go somewhere else because we don't listen to the garbage here. All right, so here we go. What is the 5-10 bounce? Real simple. I'm going to do this. I'll do it using $25 increments. Now, if you're playing on a traditional table in most casinos, you're not going to be able to do a $25 lay bet. Most of the time, it's around a $40 lay bet. But if you're doing this on Bubble Craps, you can dummy this thing down way down. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show this at a Bubble Craps level. I'm going to show this at a $10 bet level because then it'll make it easier. And if you're going to do this on a traditional table or anything else, obviously you have to ask what the minimum lay bet is. So watch the way that this rolls. We're going to wait for the first 5 or the first 10 to be rolled.
7 winner.
All right, so that's going to be our key point.
6 easy. 4 easy.
And again, I'll show you options here, but we're going to play this the straight way so you get the concept and why it works.
10 easy.
Okay, so there it is. There's our first 5 or 10, all right? So for people that are new and for the person that I'm making this video specifically for, I'm going to roll through this as if you don't know. And I know the person I'm making this video does understand this, so I'm just going to do it anyway. So we're waiting for a 5 or a 10 to roll. That is our trigger. We're going to use a $10 bet. And now that the 10 rolled, we're going to lay on the $10. Now, a lay bet, the lay bet pays half when you're using the 4 or the 10. So this is going to pay us right around $5, right? And you're going to see what happens and how fluid this is. And I'm going to explain to you why I do this and why you're not seeing this from other people yet. All right, so this may look like any normal lay bet, but it's not, because it may be a permanent lay bet and it may be a very temporary lay bet. So, of course, when we're here, we're looking for the 7 to be rolled before the 10. But there's another little interesting little trigger, and I'll show you what it is.
2 craps.
All right, if it comes up.
3 craps.
All right, a 7 would be great.
Yo 11.
No.
7 out.
There it is. All right, so you didn't see the other part of the story yet, but we're up $4.75. Like I said, with the VIG and everything, it pays just about $5, a little less, right? So now we restart again. And by the way, if I'm playing at this level, I'm going to be pulling tickets every $25 or so. If I'm playing at this level, all right? Somewhere around here. I like to pull tickets on the Bubble Craps and the roll to win very, very quickly. So $25, $30. So let's go again, all right? Now, if you're playing this at the Bubble Craps level, you can't hit the roll button before throwing something out there. All right, so I'll explain to you what I do about that. Now, on the roll to win tables where you're using the same dice and other people are playing, you can wait for the 5 or the 10. But if you can't wait for the 5 or the 10, what I want you to do is use a minimum bet, whatever the minimum on that table is. Okay, and this is only for the electronic, where it's Bubble Craps, where you have to put a bet in. What you're going to do is do the minimum, $3, on the 10. Okay, on the 10. But only, and keep it out there, only until you get the normal trigger, which is the 5 and 10. And I'll show you what I mean by that. But I want to show you the basics, because a lot of people are going to be playing this on a real table, where you don't have to put a bet out, obviously. So again, we're going to be waiting for the 5 or the 10.
6 hard.
We're not going to bet anything else. This is so simple.
4 easy. 6 winner.
All right, no 5 or 10 yet.
Easy 8. 3 craps.
And this is a really calm system, I can tell you that. No stress.
Easy 6.
All right. No 5s and 10s.
7 out.
Look at that. All right. Just keep
7
going.
winner. Nina 9. 8 easy.
Wow, this is not helping.
8 easy.
But sometimes you got to be patient with this specific system. This is not a
8
big
easy.
action. This is not a big action strategy, but most of the time we would have had more action than this.
10 easy.
There you go. All right, so there's the 10. So we're going to lay the 10, and we're just using for the demo $10, right? Now, we're looking for the 7 before the 10, but we're also looking for the 5. And now I'll show you what that means, hopefully, if we do see a 5.
8 easy. 7 out.
All right, so we keep winning, and we haven't seen the second part yet. All right, so we're up 950. We're looking for the 5 or the 10 again.
8 easy. 5 fever.
All right, finally. So now it's the 5 that came up before the 10. So we're going to put the $10 out here this time and lay against the 5. Now, what you're hopefully going to see is the reason I'm using the 5 and 10, and you can do this with the other numbers, and I'll show you that option after, is the 5, you're taking a little bit more risk because there's more ways to make a 5, right? There's 4 ways to make a 5, but there's only 3 ways to make a 10. So this pays a little bit more, but you're taking a little more risk. So I'm doing a balancing routine by using the 5 and the 10. Now, I'll show you. You can use the 4 and the 9, and it's the same math. Okay? The 4 and the 9, it's the same math. All right, so here we go. So now you've seen this the 5 come up first, but you haven't seen the swap yet. So let's see if that happens.
Nina, Nina. 8 winner.
And that's why it's called the bounce. This is called the bounce, and you're going to see why.
7 winner.
All right, well, you're not going to see why because we just keep winning. So now we're up 1583, and we're going to wait for the 5 and 10 again.
Hard 10.
Okay, immediately comes up. That's our trigger to lay on the 10. So now, let me tell you what we're looking for if it doesn't happen right away. Obviously, the best case scenario is the 7, and we're going to win our third time, right? But, if the 5 is rolled, even though we already have the lay bet on the 10, that's where the bounce comes in. We're going to move this bet to the 5 lay. And you say, well, why are you doing that? I'm doing that because there's math. There's math for one roll. It's only for one roll. Yes, you do not have to point that out. That says that there are additional odds or additional probability that the same number will not roll back to back. Now, I'm going to say it again. Numbers do roll back to back. No one is saying that it can't happen. But there's a probability for that one roll that indicates that there's more juice in it not happening than it happening. So what I'm doing is I'm taking advantage of that additional probability by flipping it or bouncing it to the other number. Now, I am not going to bounce it back if it doesn't work that one roll and the 7 doesn't come out. I'm just going to stay with it. And that's also why I use the 5 and 10. Because the 5 pays more than the 10. But the 10 doesn't get hit as often as the 5. Right? So we're smoothing out the volatility as well by doing the bounce. There's a lot of really interesting math in this strategy, even though it's so simple. So let's see if we can get an instant win again with a 7, or maybe we can show you what the bounce looks like.
Yo 11.
All right.
Nina, Nina.
Of course we want the 7, but I'm happy to show you the bounce.
5 fever.
There it is. Okay. So now we're going to take advantage of it, and we're going to do our first bounce. And now we're just moving that same money over to the 5. And if the 7 comes, we're going to make a little extra money on the 5.
Yo 11.
By the way, if the 10 comes up again, guess what we're going to do? We're going to take advantage of that same math, and we're going to move it back to the 10.
8 easy. 7 out.
There it is. So you see the $10 on the 5 pays $6.33. So it's more than what we make on the 10, but that's because you're taking a little more risk that the 5 could get hit. So there's our $22. So I would either be taking a ticket now and taking a quick break, or playing one more round of this, and definitely pulling a ticket if we're playing on the machine. So let's do it again.
7 winner.
All right.
Nina 9.
And again, you can do the bounce with the 4 and the 9 instead of the 5 and the 10 if you wanted to.
Hard 4. 7 out.
All right. Nothing yet.
Yo 11. Easy 8. 6 easy.
Everything but the 5 and 10.
Fever 5.
There it is. Okay, so this time we're going to be on the 5 first. And of course, we're not looking for the bounce. We want an instant 7 and make our money, right? But the bounce is that extra layer. So now we want a 7 or a 10.
7 out.
And that's even better. That's the 7. And there's our first ticket of the day, right? So we're going to pull that ticket. Now, if you're playing on a traditional table, again, you have to ask them what the minimum lay bet is on the 5 and the 10. What is the minimum lay bet? Most of the time, it seems to be about $40. All right? Now, if you're playing on the bubble craps, and it's not the one where it's connected to other people, you're going to have to do this to get, whoops, it's not going to let me do it on this table because I think I have it set for, yeah, I think I have it set. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you that. What was that? All right, let's pull it off. So if this was set for bubble craps, I don't know why I have it set. Oh, I have it set for minimum $5. Normally on the bubble craps, you can do $2 or $3. And to get the dice to bounce, if it's not a connected one where other people can be making that bet and you can wait for the 5 or the 10, you would have to put the $3 on the lay 4 or the lay 10. That's what I would recommend. And you leave it there until the 5 or the 10 is rolled. You then move it over and put whatever bet amount you want to play with. It may be the same $3. It may be 4, it may be 5, it may be 10. So we'll play it clean as if we were on a real table, okay, for the demo. So we're waiting for the 5 or the 10 again. And this is our first ticket of the day. There it is. Boom.
Hard 10.
Okay, right away. So we're going to go back out, and we're going to put our $10.
Easy 6. Nina 9. 6 easy.
All right.
6 easy. 8 easy. 6 easy.
Lots of 6s.
7 out.
There we go. All right, so far, the first session and the beginning of the second session have been completely easy. It's not always going to be that way. Here's what I would say to you. The comeback with this is so good most of the time that I don't really ladder. And when I do ladder, I'm only going to ladder if I get knocked off a lay bet pretty close together. So if I get knocked off a lay bet, I'm usually going to stay at the same bet level. But if I get knocked off again very fast, I'll do that ladder up, which is basically just double of whatever you're doing. Well, it's a double, but you're only going up by the same unit amount. It's not doubling and doubling and doubling. But as soon as you can get yourself back down, back down a level, back to the base, do it. Do not fight it. Do not stay up on higher levels because this pays for itself very quickly.
6 easy.
Again, we're looking for the 5 or 10. Come on. A little bit slow here, Crapsy.
Winner 6.
All right, it hit the point. We don't really care.
6 easy.
Wow. 3 sixes in a row.
6 winner.
4 sixes in a row.
4 easy. Yo 11. Yo 11. 7 out.
No 5s and 10s.
6 easy. 3 craps. 8 easy. 6 winner. 4 easy. 8 easy.
Wow.
10 easy.
There we go, finally. Wow, that was incredible. All right, so we're on the 10. That was our trigger. And now we're looking for the 7 instant win or a 5, which creates the bounce mechanism.
6 easy.
But of course, we'll take the 7 immediately.
Nina, Nina. Nina, Nina. Easy 6. 3 craps. Fever 5.
Okay, there's the bounce. So we're going to bounce over to the 5. And now we're looking for a 7.
3 craps.
We're always looking for a 7.
5 fever.
Okay, we got knocked off for the first time, right? So now you have that choice. If you want to play it aggressive, you can ladder up now, right? I'm not going to ladder up. It's our first loss of the day. Who cares? So I'm going to go back out and I'm going to go. Now, this is the option. Obviously, if we're saying that there's math of a repeater being unlikely instantly, then why wouldn't I come right back out with it? Now, you don't have to do that, but that is playing the bounce math, so I am going to go right back out with it.
Yo 11.
Now we're looking for the 7.
7 out.
There it is. All right, now you can make the argument, well, Jack, if you would have used a ladder, you would have, you would have made your money back, blah, 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 blah. You're right. You're right. That's why you need to test this. You need to practice this and see how aggressive you want to be with laddering. I don't want to be that aggressive with laddering. I really don't, with a system that works as well as this. So now we're back waiting for our trigger.
7 winner. 2 craps. 8 easy. 7 out. 10 easy.
Okay. We got triggered on the 10.
Fever 5.
We're doing the bounce to the 5 right away.
Nina, Nina.
Remember, if a 10 rolls, we're going to bounce back to the 10.
7 out.
And we don't even need to do that. We won. All right, so we're up like $36 right now. And we're waiting for another trigger.
Nina, Nina. 5 fever.
All right, now we get triggered onto the 5 first.
3 craps. 7 out.
Perfect. All right. So you see, we never laddered up. We had that little bump in the road. No big deal. Sometimes the bump in the road could be more than one bump. Don't get crazy. That's what the casino wants you to do. That's what some of these YouTubers tell you to do. Oh, you got to make all your money back and get in profit instantly. Oh, my God. And then they blow up their bankrolls when they play for real. They don't show you that on YouTube, but they're aggressive this way, that way, you know, crazy type of aggressive stuff. That's what ends up happening. All right, so we're going to just try to get to $50. I think you guys get the basics here, and then I'll just show you a little bit more, a little bit of options, and that's it. So let's look for one more trigger.
Fever 5.
And there it is right away. Okay, and it's the point number. So we're looking for a 7 out or a 10.
5 winner.
Okay, we got knocked off again. All right, so we'll just go back out.
6 easy. Fever 5.
Okay, so now we got knocked off twice. So here's what I would say to you. Here's the way I look at it. If you want to be aggressive, which it's not even being aggressive. You got knocked off twice. So you can ladder up if you want. Now, let me show you the options instead of making this so rigid, like a lot of people do, we're playing $10, right? Laddering normally would say to you that you have to go to 20. Okay? Guess what? Is there some rule that says you have to ladder exactly the amount that you were using? Can you slow your roll down? Yeah, you can. You can go to 15, right? Instead of 20. And you can also do something else so that you don't allow yourself to have back close, tight losses potentially. You can say, okay, I've had 2 losses that are pretty close together. Usually that means it happened with the same shooter, right? Usually, not always, but usually. So guess what I do? If I don't want to go back out on this shooter and fight against buck the trend, buck the shooter, I just may wait. Watch this. I'm just going to wait.
Ain't easy.
I'm going to wait for the next 5 or 10. I'm not going to jump back out.
Nina.
Let's see if another 5 would have been rolled here.
6 winner. Fever 5.
See? We would have lost again. So taking a deep breath and not panicking saved us a 3rd quick loss, right? And that's the story. And I think this is the same shooter. Now, can I go back out there now if I wanted to? Yeah, I can do that. I can absolutely do that. I'm going to wait for the next shooter. I'm going to wait for this point to either be hit or a 7 out. And then I'll restart. So you guys
7 out.
There it is. All right, so now we're on to the next shooter. So we avoided one of those. It would have ended up being several losses in a row. We had 2 losses instead of 3. There's no rush when you're playing something like this. And you don't even have to do a full ladder. So now we're restarting again.
7 winner.
And we're looking, here's a new shooter. We're looking for the 5 and the 10.
6 easy.
Don't play things in such a rigid manner.
Nina 9.
Come on.
Yo 11. Fever 5.
Okay, there's our 5 again. So now I can either just go back out and say I'm going to make it back and flat bet the 10. But I did lose twice, so I can ladder up. But I'll do the half ladder if I want to. I don't have to do the full ladder. Right? So watch this. I'm going to do the half ladder and see if it works out. And again, what are we looking for? The 7 or the 10 to do the bounce?
7 out.
Even better, the 7. All right? We're back to 31. Okay? I don't have to stay at that level. I'm close enough to where I was. So you don't always have to do the full ladder if you don't want to. I'm just showing you options. That's it. Okay? All right. So now that you guys see the way this is played with the bounce, right? You see what happens if you get in a little trouble. There's options of what you can do. You can just wait for the next shooter. You can take advantage of that and go right back out again with the same amount, flat bet it. You can go up a half step or you can go up a full step, on the ladder. It's up to you. It's up to you how you want to play it. One way or the other, we're up $32. I'm not quite to the 50 that I was shooting for the second session. Right around $50 would be 2 sessions. But you get the idea. So now, you can play this, and it's the same bounce technique with the 4. The 4 pays half of your bet, just like the 10. So you can use the 4 and the 9. Okay? It's the same math with the bouncing and the odds and the payouts as the 5 and the 10. All right? If you wanted to do that. Now, if you wanted to try something that's more aggressive, here's the other side of the story, right? You could take the 5 and the 9. Now, there's more of a chance of getting knocked off because there's 4 ways to make the 5 and 4 ways to make the 9, right? and you can just do the bounce between the 5 and the 9. So that's another way of playing it. The math is just slightly different. I like the 5 and 10. Don't ask me why. It's the same thing as the 4 and 9, but I played this bounce technique with the 5 and the 10 on a regular basis. And it's one of those strategies that I put into the rotation when I'm playing any type of an electronic. When I play this on a big boy table, you have to have a bigger bankroll because they're not going to let you play usually for less than a $40 lay bet. Okay? So you're going to have a much bigger bankroll, but it's even more important to stay calm and patient and not overdo the laddering if you're going to play this on a regular size table. Flat bet. Only do the laddering when you really need to. So this is the 5-10 bounce. I love this concept. It has done very, very well for me. I have very rarely had any stressful sessions with this. Yes, I get knocked off, but if you're patient and you're willing to take a deep breath, you usually can come back very, very easily with it. And you don't even need a giant bankroll because the math is in your favor because you've made the 7 your friend. And this is one of those amazing dark side strategies that I like to play. So this is the 5-10 bounce. And with that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed this little bonus video demo while I'm watching football, of course. And then we've done a lot of craps this week because of that the Project 410, because of the release of this new mini course, the 410 project coming out. And also I put out a video on like a primer for craps and a lot of information on the craps based courses and a little bit about that and some other things about craps the other day. So we're going to be switching. If you're not a craps person, don't worry about it. We're going to be switching now, and we're going to be putting a little more emphasis over the next week or so on some of the other stuff that we do. And hopefully this week will be the big unveiling of our secret project. So be on the lookout. If you want to be one of the first people to be involved with our secret new website project utility, you're going to want to sign up for the newsletter, Casino Confidential, and you can do that right here on the newsletter tab or on the front page, and you will get a beta tester code and be able to get in and start playing with it and having some fun and learning how to use this new incredible concept that we're going to be rolling out. So with that, have a great day, guys. That's the 5-10 bounce. Make it your own. Practice it, simulate it, and have fun with it. And to my friend that I did this specific video for, I hope you have a great cruise, and I hope you love playing this on the cruise along with the 410 project strategies. Have a great day. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.